So you want to learn what's in my prison deck? Well, do you like a lot of yapping? Do you like a lot of rambling? And do you like a lot of tangents? Well, this CJ Does Everything prison deck profile is the video for you. Let's go! Many have asked me, CJ, what are the cards in your prison deck? Well, these are my cards. Well, I could say that my cards are incomplete as of now. I haven't finished all of my cards, but this is what I use in the tournaments. So yeah, this is basically everything that I own currently as the only prison player in my community in Eastern Visayas. So first off is the ride line. I use the normal ruby red, the normal kyanite blue, the normal rosette pink, and my Vanguard Seraph Snow, all from the starter deck. Yeah, I still haven't changed them, although I have preserved an order of the bling ones, the triple R ones, and the ruby red with the black out stamp. Yeah, so this is my ride line. Very generic. I don't do, what you call it, misdirection, like using a different grade 0 to fool my enemies. And this is my energy crests. I don't have energy cards yet. I only have one, unfortunately, because I'm poor. I only have one. This is my only one. So yeah, so let's start from the top. I run 3 SERAPH Purelights. Well, I don't really need 4. I could even have 2 only. But I usually run 3 just in case one goes to the damage zone. So SERAPH Purelight skill, Soul Blast, the SERAPH unit, and Counter Blast, and Prison 2 from hand, Prison 2 from rear guard, and Prison 2 from the soul. So it's very strong. Once you get 10 in the prison, you get +1 critical and plus 25,000 power. Every 2 cards in the prison is plus 5,000. So your regular 10 cards in the prison gets you 25 plus 25 power and 1 plus 1 critical. And if you get an Eldo Brett, that's 4 crits and 50 power. And that's a SERAPH Purelight. Boom, SERAPH Purelight. That's my grade 4s with the SERAPH Snow sleeves. And but I forgot to mention that I have the SERAPH Purelight sleeves for my ride line and my energy crest. So let's move on to the grade 3. So my bread and butter, SERAPH, Penetrate Aquas, Aurora Battle Princess Penetrate Aquas. This acts as both as an emergency guard and my main attacker because its skill, if 2 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, your opponent has to use 2 in order to guard. So it's my ultimate guard restrict card. So it's plus 10,000 shield when you have 2 or more in the prison. So it's my emergency guard, and you know, it's my 18,000 attacker. My other grade 3 is Charlene. The reason why I use Charlene is to anti-Elementaria and anti-PG, because not everyone, it's only situational that your opponent gets a lot of triggers in their hand to guard when you already have a SERAPH Purelight. So if you have a Purelight, then plus 10, there are more than 10 cards in your prison, that's already so hard to guard. So it burns through your triggers in your hand. So, and you can't use Elementaria and PG, so it's a sure attack most of the time. But the downside is you need to have at least 5 in the prison for this to be able to attack. So it's very situational, but I run it in my deck. So it's one of the more, what you say, effective cards on my deck. Or you could use, in the current meta, since a lot of decks superior call, you can use Taser Rage. When I first used my prison deck, I used Lemonoon, Execute Lemonoon, which burns through a lot of your soul because it costs 3 soul blast and 1 counter blast to imprison up to 3 of their rear guards. And so if you have 3 or more cards in the prison, this gets a plus 10,000 power, and if there are 5 or more, it gets plus 1 critical. So it's very strong. But I don't use it anymore since I have Penetrate Aquas and a Charlie. So yeah, you can use Taser Rage against other cards like Blankmire, Lividras, Varga. Yeah. For the orders, you could also use Bracing Angel Ladder or Forbidal, because I test play using a Forbidal and it's very effective. And I haven't test played with Embracing Angel Ladder yet, but I believe a lot of people recommend it. So yeah, these are my grade 3s. For my grade 2s, I use mainly 4 Cuff Spring. The reason why I use Cuff Spring is it's a free prison. And it deck thins your enemy. You could make them draw their OT for if luck is on your side, right? So its ability is, when placed on rear guard, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and puts it in the prison, and then they draw 1 card. Not only it deck thins, it also forces your opponent to put 1 card in your prison. And you can run this, and it's free. There's also a card called Accused Macarite, the PR. You can also run this, but it costs soul, so it kinda conflicts with your other cards that uses soul. Since in the current meta, prison uses 1 card that's very soul dependent. So yeah, you could use this, but if you're going for a deck thinning strategy. And that's why I use Cuff Spring. So the next grade 2s that I use are 1, Agra Rouge. It's my emergency defender, and it's a strong attacker, and its skill, Soul Blast 1, you can prison 1 of your opponent's front row rear guards. My next grade 2 is Barrage Lytra. And its skill is, when your opponent's card is retired from rear guard or the guard circle, it goes to the prison. So when you're using Pure Light and they have to guard and you don't have 10 cards yet, you could force them to give you more cards in your prison. Well, I usually use this as a distraction for my opponents to target in my 2nd or 3rd turn, because most people would target this since its skill is very guard restrictive and it could eliminate strong rear guards. So yeah, but I recommend better cards. If I had better cards, I won't be using these 2, but these 2 are very effective in my current deck. And lastly, I use 2 Corner Citrus. It's the best card in my deck because when placed from rear guard, your opponent chooses a card from their drop and puts it in the prison. If they put it in a prison, Energy Blast 3, and I get to draw a card. And its bread and butter skill is, when a Seraph Purelight or Seraph Snow, a Seraph unit attacks, it gets to restand Counter Blast 1. I usually use this to put immense pressure against my enemy. Although I don't have much, if I could choose, I would use 4 of these, replacing these 2. You could use other order cards, but I don't use them. These are my grade 2s. Currently, I'm still up for upgrading it. I could still upgrade it if I had money. Oh, lastly, I forgot. I used 2 Explosive Melting Hearts. This is one of my contingency plans if ever I'm fighting strong Vanguards, especially those who restand their Vanguard with multiple attacks. So its skill is Soul Blast 1, and you Soul Blast 1 and choose 1 of your opponent's attacking units. And it gets minus 5,000 for every card in your prison. So if you have 10 or more, that's a 50k minus to your opponent. And that's big. So for my grade 1s, I run the prison card. It's your bread and butter. You have to use this if you're using a Seraph deck. So you can run 2 just in case you draw this one in your first turn, but it doesn't matter because you just have to be good at using the deck if ever this goes to your first draw. Just need to use it well. It doesn't matter if you draw it, but it does mess up your strategy a bit if you draw it. My other grade 1s are, first is Muna. Blitz Staff Muna. It's one of my better cards. So if your order zone has 3 or more cards and prison puts a lot of cards in your order zone, this unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects and gets 5,000, and it's active on your opponent's turn 2. And its main skill is when any player's unit is placed on the rear guard from your order zone, or so when your opponent gets a card from your prison, Soul Blast 1 and you get a card, you draw 1. So it gives me a lot of drawing power in order for me to defend against my enemies, especially when I get to draw the cards that I need in my next turns. So yeah, I usually place it as soon as possible. My next card is 4 Lifles. The reason why I use Lifle, it's because it really sets you up. It's a good setup card since its skill is during your turn, if you have 2 or more cards in your prison, it gets 5,000. So it's a 13,000 attacker like Muna. And whenever your opponent's card is imprisoned, you can counterblast 1, then imprison one of their rear guards and check top 5, and you can do a big combo with it. You can use the skill, check top 5, get a Quarter Citrus, or get a Penetrate Aquas, and if you get a Citrus, you place it in your rear guard circle, then you use the Citrus skill to draw 1, and you get another Citrus or another Lifle, and you could only set up your attack turn. So yeah, it's a very complicated, it's a very setup-y type style, so I don't know how to explain it well. So my last grade 1s is Security Upgrader. You should use these. If you don't have a Security Upgrader, good luck trying to find your Seraph Purelite. So, Security Upgrader skill, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Seraph in its card name, and you did not ride this turn, you could retire this unit and search anywhere except the damage zone or the bind zone for a Seraph Purelite. And ride it as a superior ride. So with Security Upgrader, it gets minus counterblast, so you don't need to counterblast when you use Seraph Purelite skill. You just need to Soul Blast one Seraph card. Yeah. And usually my combo for this is if I don't have a Security Upgrader on my hand or in my rear guard, is that I pray I pray to God that when I use Lifle and do a counter blast and I check top 5, I get a Security Upgrader. Then I use Security Upgrader to ride a Seraph Purelite, and that's 1 prison from Lifle and another prison from Security Upgrader, then 6 prison from Seraph Purelite, and that's a total of 8 prison, and that's plus 20,000. So yeah, that's my grade 1s. And lastly, I run Strong Arm Conversion Struggle Mars, and it's my PG. You need a PG since a lot There are a lot of big attackers in the current meta. I'm not meta. I just use prison because I love prison. So when this unit is put on the guard circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it. It's just a generic PG. With effect, right? So yeah, those are my grade 1s. My holy grail. My complete grade 1s. I could say that my grade 1s are complete. Lastly are my triggers. Unfortunately, I don't run an Eldobret. I run an Olberia. I run an Olberia because I don't have an Eldobret. What you gonna do about it? So I'll put this here. I run 4 Aurora Battle Princess crits. So Loris Yellow. I like these, since it usually is my main shields. Next is, I run another 4 crits, Patrol Robo. I can't arrange it straightly. And for my draw triggers, I run 3 Ameliorate connectors. So it's a 10,000 Guarder. I use it as an emergency discard for my ride line or as an emergency guard. And my heal triggers are the normal Aurora Battle Princess Trias Greens because I don't use the effect heals because it's very situational, especially in today's meta. There are different kinds of decks, so it's better to be safe and get a 15,000 shield. So yeah. So those are my grade 0s, and that's basically my whole deck so far. I'm up for upgrading it. As you can see, I still need an Eldobret. I still need 2 more Corner Citruses. I need a Forbidal or a Bracing Angel Ladder. And I forgot what the name of that order card is. I'll put it here. Here it is. And I need it. Hopefully, I get to upgrade this deck soon. But so far, I'm not complaining. I'm actually having fun with this deck. What matters is I have fun. It doesn't matter if I win. Maybe I'm yapping too much, right? So yeah, that's basically it. That's a lot of talking. And hope you guys enjoyed this video of me just rambling about what cards I use in this deck. I really enjoyed Prison. I don't know why I'm not changing to meta decks. Maybe because I enjoy this deck so much. I like being in control though. Because this is a control deck, you control your opponent's cards and it's not situational for me because I enjoy every game that I do. My favorite matchups are Shiranui, Bob Sagara, Bastion. It's one of the more challenging matchups. Darful Dolls, Tagria. It's one of the more but one of my most favorite matches against my Prison is Youthberg. It's a standstill. Whenever I fight my friend who uses Youthberg, it was always a standstill. I don't think we've settled the score yet with my friend who uses Youthberg. He doesn't use Youthberg anymore, unfortunately. But Youthberg will be coming back to the current meta. Hopefully, since the character's back in the anime. Hopefully, my Seraph gets another Seraph Purelight. Another Seraph Purelight? Like Magnolia? Hopefully, we get another card. But from what I've learned, there's a new card in set 7 that can replace my Cuff Spring, which doesn't need a lot of resources to use. I forgot what the skill description is. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share to your friends, and subscribe. And if you want to learn how to use Prison, you could follow my deck. If you're a beginner, you could use some of my ideas. especially when you're new, you could use, for the grade ones, you could also use Grenade, Meridia, or Surprise Glimmer. They're strong cards. Yeah, so if you want to observe me as, if you want to watch a guy who will forever use Prison in his journey in Cardfight Vanguard, keep watching, because you'll get to see Prison fight a lot of decks like Lividras, Varga Rakshasa, Impuldio, Razale Vita. You're gonna see me fight all of these meta decks and put up a good fight. If ever I get to finish this deck, I may be able to fight them one-on-one at the good terms. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe again if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.